Hey folks, welcome back to Honey Money SG. Recently, my YouTube co-worker Kel Vin from Kelvin Learns Investing channel actually reacted to my recent video on CNA Money Talks podcast. Initially, I was quite worried like, am I going to get criticized again by another top financial YouTuber in Singapore? Then I realized that I have absolutely nothing to worry about because of this.
1.4 million SGD want to retire? Wahaha, nearly fell off my chair, sia.
I think I just fell off my chair because his pronunciation of that is so funny, right? So coming back to this reaction video, on a more serious note, what do I really think about his comments? Now, for the record, for the Facebook post on the CNA Money Talks podcast, right, I actually didn't read through all the comments because there were so many. I only read through the few which is the most engagement one because they will be shown at the top, and that's where I actually get content from to make my reaction video. But Kelvin actually read through some of them, the more detailed ones, and I realized that there are actually good comments despite all the hate comments that I see. Just like this few Kelvin actually picked and mentioned in his video.
But one comment summarized this whole thing perfectly. The fact that a lot of peeps think that he will be retiring using that $1 million alone suggests that our collective financial literacy is much lower than we think. Thankfully, there are some people who knew what's up. Like this guy. It's not $1 million in cash. It's $1 million in portfolio.
So I'm quite surprised and quite happy, in fact, because there are actually people who understand and put me in a better light than some people. In my previous video reacting to CNA podcast, I did talk about the 4% safe withdrawal rule, but I did not cover it in huge detail because I felt that the general public probably won't understand it, but Kelvin helped me explain on it. In fact, he even managed to calculate my personal expenses and found that even using a 2% safe withdrawal rule, I will be safe from all these kind of fluctuations. And of course, that is because he really understands what is behind all these calculations, and the general public probably don't understand it. That's why it's good that he helped me explain this because I'm not very good at expressing myself actually. Next up, let's talk about kids' expenses. Kelvin actually highlighted that I do not want to have kids intentionally or unintentionally. Of course, that is not something that I can actually control, or could I? But even if I do have a kid in future, I am not at all worried because I will look at Kelvin as my role model. This guy actually spent less than $2,000 individually, and if combined with his wife, still managed to raise the kid with very minimal expenses. So if there is someone that I need for parenting and financing tips, right, I will still go to him, because he is so frugal and yet he don't live a very sad life, unlike what most people think.
For people who are chasing fire, like Chris or even me, we are totally satisfied with living a simple lifestyle. And mind you I do spend money on date nights, movie, travel, and kid outings. So it's not like I'm not enjoying life,
And coming back to commentators that said that I live a very sad or cheap lifestyle, for the record, I was actually traveling on a 6-day Malaysian road trip when this podcast was released. So only when I came back to Singapore, then I seen how big of a hoo-ha it made in the news. So I don't know about you, but I do consider a 6-day Malaysian road trip to be very enjoyable, very affordable, and there are a lot of sites that you can see around in neighboring countries. Don't have to go really far places like Europe and all this kind. Just go for a Malaysian road trip. Maybe it will change your perception on everything. Also, one thing I learned from this recent podcast recording is that I should not really focus on talking on FIRE. I should focus on talking about Ikigai, which is actually my main focus, because Ikigai is a very popular concept that is getting more relevant than FIRE. Ikigai is about doing what you love, doing what the world needs, doing what pays you well, and what you're good at, which I think should be anybody's goal, even if they are not into financial independence, because you have a reason for existence, you have a reason to make an impact to this world, and that's what I'm going after rather than traditional FIRE. I feel that the concept of Ikigai really have to be propagated and more encouraged compared to the FIRE lifestyle, because FIRE is generally very contradictory. People think that you are doing nothing after you have retired, but you are actually retiring meaningfully and making an impact to the greater world. Now, regarding living a simple life, I'm sure both myself and Kelvin can really relate to this. It's more about living better with less, not living less with less. I think the concept of minimalism is not widespread enough. That's why people think that it's always good to hoard, it's always good to inflate your lifestyle, it's always good to buy more things to impress people you don't like with the money you don't have. And that is actually causing a lot of wastage on this earth. And regarding his YouTube poll about what people would do if they were not working for money, most people actually choose travel the world. but I did not choose travel the world, even though I talk about traveling the world. I actually choose the second option. I forgot what is it, but it's something like make money out of your passion. And that is my passion doing YouTube, because I talk about being a digital nomad, whatever that is. So a digital nomad basically means that you just need to have a laptop, your gears, your good internet connection, and you can work from anywhere from this earth because you will contribute through the online internet. Just like this YouTube channel, right? It's published online, the content is online, I can receive income online. I don't have to be physically at one place, and that allows me to have space freedom. And one more point that Kelvin made that was very important is that people think that FIRE people are lazy. But they forget the fact that these FIRE people actually managed to squeeze 40 years of full-time employment into 10 short years. That is a really remarkable target. You have to put in a lot of sacrifice, a lot of trade-offs in order to achieve 40 years of efforts and contributions into 10 short years. And I think the more important thing is, what are you going to do after the 10 years of chasing FIRE? Are you going to just sit at home and play computer games all day? Or are you going to make an impact to this world through other contributions? That is something that you have to discover for yourself. But at least this kind of gives you an option of not doing a job that you really hate or a boss that you don't really like at an environment that you really dislike going to because it's so far-flung and you hate the commute. So I think the FIRE and Ikigai movement kind of enable you to have more options towards life, and you can choose whether you want to retire early or not. It's always a personal choice. It's not always about conforming and not about following other people that have carved out the path for you. You have to follow your own dream, you have to chase your own passions, and that can only be possible when you are at least financially independent. And after that CNA podcast interview, I did reflect a lot on my channel, what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say, because there are always lessons to learn from people, be it people who agree with you or people who do not agree with you. For people who do not agree with you, you can just look at their viewpoints. Why do they feel this way? And when you see someone who is more successful to you, you actually have two different angles. The first one is jealousy. You will be jealous. This person probably have some privilege or something like that that enable him to be successful. Now, if you skip to the other camp, you will have this thinking in your head, how can I be successful like this person? What are the steps that he taken? What were the sacrifices that he have made to come to the position today? Is there something good that I can learn out of it, and can I follow it? I think that is a more positive approach than being jealous and putting other people down. Now coming out, I do want to share some positivity, right? Because I have never received so many positive and encouraging comments in any YouTube video that I have made. I mean, there are so many comments and I possibly can't cover all, but I'll start with those that with the most likes. Okay, starting with Teji King. Singaporeans need to chill. Our culture needs some rejuvenation, to be honest. That is actually true. I think we can all spread more positive mindsets. Leong Kai Fang, your videos helped me a lot in terms of understanding how CPF works, which most people wouldn't even bother trying to find out, and how to budget our monthly spending. Don't be affected by the media. Thank you, Kai Fang. Your comments are really appreciated. I really do enjoy sharing and hope that it has helped you in any way. Helen Low, I enjoyed that podcast. Many people just read headlines only without listening or reading the full context. Can understand how you feel with all those hurtful comments. Hope you're feeling better. 加油. Yeah, I'm feeling good actually. So don't worry about me. It's more of a dramatic effect that I add in my previous video, just to add more emotions to that video. Otherwise, it's not entertaining lah. AL, don't be discouraged by the naysayers. What you have been sharing is logical stuff and sound advices. Common sense is not common sometimes, haha. And yes, many people are headline readers and quick commenters. Keep up the good work and doing the right thing. Yes, I will continue to keep up the good work and do the right thing. Thank you AL for supporting my cause. Sport Angler Ang, FB are toxic, chill. I only started investing this year when I got C19 and sit at home for nothing better to do. Great that I see your channel, keep it up. So 2022 has been a really good year to invest, especially in the bear market because everything is really down. I encourage you, Sport Angler Ang, to read up more investing and keep up the good work. Brightization, Chris, there are reasons why you are invited to CNA while these trolls are at the comment section. I actually really like this comment because it makes so much sense. So when you are at the headlines and people are at the comment section, it means that you have done something good to be worthy to be on the headlines, and these are people that really belongs to FB comment section, which is one of the lower tier social media platforms nowadays. Small Guild, please keep up the good work and ignore the haters. Social media comments can be toxic, but it reflects more on themselves. Couldn't agree more, man, because when you spread hate comments, it actually shows more of a bad person you are rather than how bad the person you are talking about. Josh Tan, the astute parent. Most people won't understand how it feels to be on the receiving end of negative comments. Smash like and give it giving some support here. Thank you, Josh. I have watched your videos as well. It has been very fruitful learning from you. Keep up the good work and continue to smash the like button. But there was this particular comment that I really liked, but it didn't get much like, but I'll still feature him anyway. The Tyster. Ignore the haters, Chris. People are the average of 5 people they spend the most time with. If all their friends are inadequate people, unable to take charge of their lives, do not have meaningful goals, their ego makes them go into defensive mode. And they wish the same mediocrity for everyone else. You know, that's actually so true. We are just the average of the 5 people we are closest with. And it doesn't have to be physical people. If the more content you watch is positive mindset, motivation talks, and finance topics, ultimately you will become better and you are more ingrained in this kind of mindset. Rather than if you spend your time hitting on other people like those Facebook commenters, you'll grow to have a negative mindset. So it's very important on who you surround yourself with and what kind of content you consume. So I realized that this message is really more important and relevant, and I think it can be applied to everyone. So thank you to every one of you who has made really nice comments and encouraging comments to keep motivating me, right? I'll strive to do better and improve over time so as not to let you all down on this channel. So I hope I close this video in a positive note, and if you want to look at how did I react to my CNA Money Talks podcast video, then do refer to my earlier video on that. With that, thank you for watching. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.